What is up, everybody? You know what it is, the one and only Are You the One after show. So Jonathan drapes Basit in forgiveness flowers. Kai is a kissing bandit, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have our first perfect match. Let's go. Let's get it.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV Talk. Now, let's
Sound check. Oh, my mic sounds nice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, my mic sounds nice.
Nice. Okay.
I just got to get it right.
Just right.
Just right.
Perfect.
Just right.
Mm-hmm.
Like
what is up, everybody? Exactly.
What is up, everybody?
What is really going on? I'm super excited to talk about this show because
everyone.
So much is going on. I'm just gonna keep this finger up just for a second.
I feel like you need another person on this other side.
Right.
Are you trying to find your perfect match?
It's ET. Phone home. Boom. There it is.
No, he's just showing off this new manicure that he has. Okay, Lem, keep your nails right.
I mean, it's not new, but yeah, thank you. I do keep it.
It looks really nice.
Yes. I'm your host. Guess what? It's Are You the One? I'm your host, Lem Gonzalez. I can't even contain myself. It's so cracking right now. Next to me, you already heard her talking because that's what she does best since they don't play.
Yes, honey, and I'm serving some Talladega Nights, okay?
Yes, always through with the drip. Always through with the drip. Melody Rose, Messy Melody in the building.
What up? So far, this has been my favorite episode.
And of course, my A1 since day one, the Filipino king, Nino Lanera in the building.
What's up, y'all? We finally got the perfect match, and I'm so excited. We got one, but we know of two, so
we do know of two.
I can't wait to get into that.
We're gonna talk about it. Guess what, though? It's guest time. It's guest time. Ladies and gentlemen, we have not one but two guests tonight. That's gonna be gracing your screen first. And you got to get a close-up of him.
Okay.
One half of Jax. He did say it was the better half, but I'm not going to say it out loud. Oops, I already did.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Max is here.
Hey, what's good?
Throw up that shoe, Max. Throw up that shoe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
You got to see the drip. You got to
Okay.
see the drip. You got to see the drip.
He is not playing today with this whole vibe.
Let me tell you something. Max was telling me, he's like, dude, I'm coming through like really serious.
Oh, and he really came through.
And then I got a message. He's like, and I'm getting a haircut. I'm like, yo, he's like not playing.
He's not.
He's not playing.
No,
there is no games.
You guys, and he's even finer, like in the studio too.
Oh.
So I know all y'all jealous.
Oh,
What's good?
all right.
What's good?
But ladies and gentlemen, we also do have another guest calling us via Skype land all the way from Europe. Dr. Frankie is with us.
Hey!
Dr. Frankie, how are you doing aside from being tired?
Ooh, I'm exhausted, but I'm really, really good. I'm super excited to be here with you all.
Yes. So I'm going to go right to you. We're going to get it right cracking. I want to find out, this is the first time that we've seen, a lot of firsts this season, but this is the first time that they've had an on-site professional person that helps with relationships. And so I wanted to find out from you, getting the call from MTV, you decided to do it. What was your experience this far on the show?
Amazing. I loved it. I hope I can do it again.
Word. Did you have any trepidation in doing this? Like you got
Trepidation.
You got
We're back with the
know what that
words.
means.
16. She's a doctor. She knows.
She
what's up.
knows.
She knows. You got 16 singles, right? You got all this stuff. You got a host. You got all these activities, everything going on. You got to wrangle them all in. How hard was that?
I mean, it was a lot of unknown for me. It was the first time I've ever done something in reality TV, for example. It was the first time I lived remotely for weeks on end for work. So it was something I went into with a lot of excitement, but also a lot of not knowing, which was, it can be really fun, right? When you're kind of flying by the seat of your pants. But it was amazing. I mean, it was just to be able to watch everyone try to work through things, and I would give suggestions, and to see them actually go out there and apply my suggestions, and then we'd come back together and they'd share about what's working and what's not working. So as a therapist and psychologist and coach, for me, it was just wonderful to be a part of it all.
Dr. Frankie, I have a question. So, was everyone able to, have you on call, when they were going through, their mental breakdowns? Could they just, call you up, oh, my God, I'm freaking going through this? that's
did
like what
Max
I do.
call you
Like,
anytime?
can they just like call you at any moment?
I wish Max called me. No, they couldn't. They couldn't call me. So we had a designated time that we would meet, and I would go to their house, and we would basically sit down and start talking.
Amazing.
So I wish that we had more time like that.
Did you?
But yeah, go ahead.
Did you know the premise of the show as you were coming in? Like, did you know the switch up of what they were doing from seasons before? And like, did you anticipate all the issues that might come with it? That's not just relationship wise, but also like figuring themselves out and, you know, finding out how they were going to go about, say, like a new life, like with Paige coming out. That's, you know, for this actual show.
Yeah, so I watched a few episodes beforehand. Believe it or not, I don't watch TV very often. So I definitely watched a few episodes to get a sense of what the show is like. And also the concept is a little complicated. How it works is a little complex. That's actually the number one question I get from people is like, how does it all work? So I, you know, with Paige, I didn't even think that, of course that's possible, but that was in the beginning pretty much, that was a shocker. I thought, oh my gosh, she's so bold. She's getting on national television. Nobody in her family knows, and she's coming out. Like, this is going to be crazy, you know?
Max, I want to go to you. Obviously your first time on the show for Are You the One? Duh.
Yeah.
But having Dr. Frankie there, someone that you can talk to, someone that you can confide in, how was that for you as a cast member?
You know, I think having Dr. Frankie there was like one of like, it was such a great twist and such a great addition to the show because we needed Dr. Frankie. Like, honestly, you can see it. Like, it's right there.
I need Dr. Frankie. We all need Dr. Frankie.
And the world needs a Dr. Frankie. No, but seriously, and it was just like talking through these issues, and like we would, you know, go and kind of do it in the challenge, and then like we would hear about, okay, like we need to handle it this way, and then like literally you see people doing what she said and it working for us.
Yeah.
And like that, like that's the best kind of testament that you could ask for. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, having Dr. Frankie in the house was like best thing that could happen.
Amazing. And I love it.
I can just imagine like being in a situation where you are trying your best to find a match. It could be so many different possibilities. Trying to navigate your way. You've already failure at this. That's why you're on a show like this. And then having someone who's professional that can attest to that. Melody, what do you think?
I think it's amazing, and they should have done it for all the past seasons as well.
Okay.
Because think about all the no-match couples that couldn't leave each other alone, right? And it's like, Dr. Frankie, why are we so attracted to people who show us like the biggest red flags?
Or the ones we can't have or we shouldn't have.
What is that attraction about?
Yeah, she's asking a question. Yeah, help us. Help us, Dr. Frankie. Why do we do that?
We ain't paying us.
It's exciting to go for something that isn't right for you, that, you know, isn't steady and consistent, because you just never know what you're going to get. So it keeps it exciting. And then there's this push-pull, right? You get to make up, you break up, and you make up, and it's very exciting. And there's all this like chemical dump that happens for us where it's just like it's intense. And it's a cycle that we get stuck in. And look around, right? We know everybody knows somebody that falls into that category.
Definitely.
That's drawn to that cycle.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
It's addictive.
I've been there. We all been
It's
there.
addictive. It's like the drug.
You see what I'm saying?
Max is
Yeah.
like,
You literally
hello.
you see what I'm
I mean,
saying?
I feel whole already. I feel such a better person.
You are so
Well,
crazy.
Dr. Frankie, we don't hold you. I know you're in
Yes.
Europe. It's like 3 a.m. or something out there. But I want to thank you so much for joining us and kind of just shedding some light on your experience on the show. Give it up for Dr. Frankie. Yes.
I love you, Dr. Frankie. I love you.
Thank
I'll
you
call
all.
you.
Mwah. Love you, Max.
Thank you so
I'll call
much.
you.
Thank you so much.
Send your rates. We need you.
He said, I'll call you right after the show.
I literally will call you.
Right.
Yeah,
All right.
thank
So
you.
let's get into this episode. How did you all feel about? I mean, we obviously catch out the bag. We got our first perfect match. Hallelujah.
Yes.
But to get to that
Praise
perfect match,
the
there was
Lord.
so much tea with Kai. Like, boy,
she hopping into that already.
I mean,
Yeah.
like,
What about the whole Jonathan thing in the beginning of the situation where they were, you know, that Remy was projecting because obviously it was
Right.
such
At
a
the
hard
beginning.
situation.
Because of the
250K
previous-
gone,
right.
all that. You know, I mean, I think Jonathan took it though.
Look. I am here for Jonathan because you know what? At the end of the day,
Tell us.
Jonathan really had feelings for Justin, and at the end of the day, none of y'all got anything right. Y'all picked someone, and it was everyone's fault that they got no matches. Okay,
So you're saying it's not just Jonathan's fault?
No.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
everybody's to
I'm
blame.
gonna say it is his fault, but
No.
I'm not too mad at him because they got a lot of information out of that.
I'm
It's a
gonna go with
250,000
$250K. I'm mad that he could have made a decision that could have swayed it a whole nother way. He thinks he was working with his heart, but a lot of people, you know, were expressing that he might have been working with his
Okay.
little
Well,
heart.
okay.
You know what I mean? Like, but I'm not mad at him. I don't think like the way that Remy went at him, it was tough and it was rough. But I
Yeah.
do like that people were trying to give him, you know, the benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, it happened. We got to move on and figure it out. Or
Right,
whatnot.
because there are a lot of other people that had the matches up
Yeah.
that were picking some crazy people to sit next to. I'm like, what?
It's
So,
a domino effect.
Well,
You know, maybe
It
he
is,
threw
it
them.
is.
Maybe
Yes,
he
it is.
threw them off.
And that's
But at the end
I
of the
think
day,
one of the points
y'all
I was
chose
making.
who y'all chose, and y'all messed it up too.
So, I mean, I don't think we can blame him. And I want to definitely divert to Max because you were there.
Yes, Max. And you were a part of the
I was
part of
there.
that
I
in
was
more
there.
ways than one. So, take us back to that last episode when he decides that he's going to pick your man, right? And you're just like, wait, hold on. And he does this, and not only you are surprised, but everybody is surprised because they know, you know, the benefit that you guys have. You guys have been rocking for so long. And then this happens. What is your feeling right away?
Oh, I mean, I think my face said it all. I mean, I'm always a person who wears their heart on their sleeve, and I think my face really said that. And you know, I mean, like at the time, like had he even spoken to Justin since week 2, I didn't. Justin was with me. I didn't notice him.
That
having
was a
any
major
conversations.
point. That was a major point.
And so that was the thing. And then it was like, okay, you're gonna do that. That's a bold move. Like, I mean, I guess I support it. I'm house over everything.
Right.
But then at the same time, like, well, then who am I gonna pick? Because that was my main connection. So like, it kind of just made it really difficult there.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, me saying he was delusional was absolutely accurate.
Oh my gosh. Ooh. Delusional. I mean, he had a crush on your man.
But he's basically saying, look, you didn't have the connection that you think you have.
Right.
And
I mean,
that's
he
where
was
he
trying
started.
real
Right.
hard,
He was
but-
trying real hard, and
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
like,
Justin was not letting him have it.
and I feel like there's a difference between, hey, let me holler at you real quick and see if we have a connection, and let me talk to you. Then I'm gonna pick you for a matchup,
Right.
Yeah.
and then screw everybody else. Now, if he would have done that at the end or something like that, like 2 before, I don't think it would have had as much of an impact.
It would have
But
been
because-
different. It would have been different.
But because it was towards the beginning, and then everyone else, it was a
Right.
domino because whatchamacallit, who's the perfect match?
Brandon,
Aasha
Aasha.
and Brandon. So Brandon was going to pick Aasha.
Right.
But
And then my
Aasha-
closest connection after Justin was Brandon. So like, I didn't have.
Right.
So maybe you might have.
Put it on me now.
But but you have to go to second choice.
But
Yes.
that's my whole
Right,
point, though.
right.
You know,
I mean, second
everyone
and
chose-
thirds. I mean, and
Exactly.
sometimes fourth.
Yeah.
Sometimes a fourth.
I'm just
Because the
playing
domino
back,
just
I
keeps
mean,
it going and all that.
Y'all set him up for that. One.
I mean, and the point is the big point was that Jonathan didn't have that connection because he never had a chance to actually do it. So there was no proof of him actually thinking that Justin could be the match besides of what was in his head.
Yeah.
And that's
You know?
and that's what Remy was trying
And
to
that's
say.
what Remy was trying to
Right.
say. You know, what I mean, maybe he said it
Right.
a little more loud than usual, but he said it.
The
you
thing
know
with
what I mean?
Remy is he'll put it extremely real.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not in the nicest way at all. Like sometimes I'm like,
Right.
okay, you
tough
could have been nice,
love.
but
Right.
it's real.
Yeah.
It's very real, and
Yeah.
that's like Remy's very authentic in that way.
Look what he did when he saw Kai
yeah,
and Jenna
exactly.
in the
Remy
corner.
is-
You know
That
what I'm
was
saying?
funny.
But that's what I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. Like, was he just like going up to everyone like, no, you cannot talk. No, you cannot talk.
He was
no,
like
you cannot
the
talk.
no match police.
Dude,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
He
every
was
season could
really-
use a Remy too,
Yeah,
though.
he was like the
That's
no match
true.
police. He literally was going.
They would've
blow
got
the whistle,
far.
You
get
should
away,
not be speaking.
Right.
10 feet away. Like, stop it.
Right? Like, okay, we
Yeah.
can't even say hello.
So-
Right.
Like,
But I get that because you just had a blackout.
Hell yeah.
So you just have a blackout, and then you got Kai and Jenna over there still smooching. Like, you're already confirmed no match. Like, get away from each other. We
guys.
need to win money. We just lost $250,000. Stay away, find your match, and let's keep this pushing. So I'm
Exactly.
not mad at that. I'm
Yeah.
not mad at
No.
Remy Police. I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
I'm
either.
all for it.
And you
Praise
know
the Remy
what?
police. I'm down for it.
Oh, right. I mean, we all need a friend like Remy.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I feel like this episode was really all about so many people going out of their comfort zones and really trying to connect with more people. And, you know, you didn't see that on a lot of the other episodes. Like, we saw Amber and Jenna getting to know each other. You know, we saw Noor and Kai. And a little bit, Jenna, I was like,
We saw Kai with a lot of people.
Right.
We
I
saw
mean,
Kai exploring.
Kai was a hot mess this episode.
Kai was all
How
over
many
the
people
place.
was that?
How many times is she gonna?
Four.
How many times is he gonna do this?
Yeah.
But everybody knows. Everybody knows.
That is just
I mean,
crazy.
literally,
Like, at
that's
this
his
point,
thing.
I would be
Anytime-
kind of upset
Yeah.
if he was my perfect match.
100%.
He's just
Not getting a chance
wilding
to.
out
It's because
everywhere.
it was last episode. He was like, "Jasmine, there's no one else but you."
Right.
And then he goes
He's a
to,
player.
and says, "You know, to who was it? Who was it to? Was it to Noor?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, I would
Yeah.
choose you
Went
over
to Noor.
over Jasmine."
Like, as soon as Remy separated them, he hit
Right.
the corner
Right.
and was on the
And
next
was
chick.
on
And I was like,
Jasmine.
what?
Yeah.
and then he wrestles with Daddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he
kisses him.
Danny, and then
kisses
he's
him.
like, shh.
Yeah.
How many?
Exactly.
They all gonna live in the same house. They're all gonna run into each other.
Sir, you have some explaining to do, dog.
Let's get him in here. Get him in here.
I want to go
Yes.
back to you, Max, because Sensei made a great point. It was like people were, it seemed that we were going out of their comfort zone. Do you think that was derived from it being a blackout and people like, okay, I need to do something I'm not doing yet. I need to do something different.
Yeah, that's a good question, Lem. I think 250K will make you do some crazy stuff.
True.
No, but seriously, I think that was a wake up call.
Right.
Like, okay, we need to step our game up. We're not clearly not doing anything right. So I think that made everyone look inside, like, okay, what can I do to make sure this house doesn't go down in flames? Because we're not here to lose. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's also a game. We understand that, and I think that was like snap back right into
Definitely.
reality. Yeah.
One of the things that did come of this, and we do see Jonathan Basit, and
Yes.
so we see that
Love them.
Jonathan pulls Basit and has a conversation, and he basically tells Basit that he hasn't seen things before. There's some new things that he sees now, and because there was a blackout, because let's say there wasn't a blackout, and he picked. Who he picked, and then you guys got a few beams or whatever. He's still going to be pursuing that.
Yeah. Right.
But because he knows, okay, it's not a match, move aside. Okay, let me look inside. Let me look inward. And he basically started to do that, and he saw Basit, and it was like, oh. And he was like, something new. Let me try this.
He
something
saw
different.
beyond the sequence. He saw beyond the costume, which he mentioned. He saw beyond the facade that was Basit.
Yeah.
Externally, and really got to know him internally, and that should be a lesson to everybody on the show right now, because obviously the show is done, but still, I guess a lesson in life. When you really look deep inside of somebody who you might be connecting with, there could be that chance, even if that first look, or that first I might want to date you because you're cute, or I don't think I want to date you because you're not cute.
Right.
It might not happen in the first place, but if you really look inside, like, you could find your perfect match can be somewhere like down the street from you.
Exactly.
know?
And I
Real.
loved how Basit was like, you know what? I gave you a shot. I was chasing after you. Now, Jonathan, you have to chase
Chase after me.
Yes.
Yes.
They said they're like,
Okay.
you have to fight for me now.
Yes.
Right. 100.
Word.
Okay.
Flowers and flower crowns. Flower crowns. I'm sounding like
That was so Wait, are we getting there yet? Are we getting
We're
there?
not there yet.
Not
We're not there yet. We're not
'cause,
there yet.
honey.
Yeah. Collecting pearls, is that what you're doing?
Clutching my pearls.
Let's talk about this challenge. So this challenge, which was weak, and it's going to be part of my special segment. Anyway, Dr. Frankie talks to the house about red flags, right? And we need to look at red flags when we're looking at a potential partner, things of that nature, right? And so Brandon and Noor are picked because they're quote unquote the two pickiest people, excuse me. Selective. Okay. Picky, selective.
how do they
in
pick
the house?
that? Is it like
Probably when they were talking to the matchmakers, what they want.
maybe?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, was that something determined before, or was there a
you
vote
guys
given?
vote for that?
We vote before
you
the
guys
challenge.
vote. Okay.
Okay.
Were
okay.
you guys confused just as much as we were, like
That they won?
about the rules, about and how they
Or
won?
just the
Well,
challenge.
now we hear the rules like 500 times, and there's usually 500 questions.
Okay.
And then
we do it.
there you go.
And then we do it.
Okay.
Okay.
But it was confusing initially.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
because I didn't think it was fair that like the two people who had more whatever. The fact that they picked them two, and then those are the two
Right.
people that can only go on a date, like that didn't make sense to
Why?
me.
I know,
'Cause
it's like, I
telling
wish
you
I would've circled
people
more.
because it was superficial red flags. So it's like normally we're like, oh, that's too many red flags. I need to stay away from you. But sometimes it's so superficial that we should overlook them and give them a chance.
No, I'm talking about why did Noor and Brandon?
So
Why did
They voted.
Yeah, but I guess the two pickiest were there because maybe that'll
don't know.
open up the eyes for
I didn't
people.
understand.
I don't know.
Yeah, I just think the
understood
whole
it.
reasoning behind it. I get the red flags, you look for that, but just the way they put it together, it just seemed interesting.
Yeah.
Bottom line is Brandon Noor are picked, and their job is to pick people's pet peeves or red flags. So a category is given. Who does that belong to, right? What was yours, by the way?
I mean, I didn't have many. I was just like, cause like I'm a picky person in general, just about myself,
Right.
but less about my partner. So like I feel like I didn't have a whole lot.
What were your flags?
Okay, well,
Can you
yeah.
tell us? Or what do you remember?
I don't know. I don't know if they showed any
Okay, well, do you have any now?
red flags. I
wanna
mean,
know.
hygiene is my number one.
Hygiene.
Like,
Yeah,
I
they
can't
can't
deal.
smell.
I can't deal. And like,
Okay.
I think that like if you like talk to any of the cast members, they would tell you that I showered like three times a day.
Keep
I
it
do that
fresh.
too.
Keep it
it's
fresh.
Like, I
Keep it
just-
fresh.
Shower a lot.
I'm saying it's hot now too. It's summer.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I know.
wild.
And like in Hawaii, it was like walk
Humid.
out and sweat.
Humid.
Ew.
Super
Stand up
humid.
sweat, sit down
Yeah.
sweat.
Right.
Well, you are looking squeaky clean right now. Okay.
Oh.
So in the challenge, we see that Brandon picks the most right. He wins. And then he gets to pick two people for the dates.
Right.
So he picks Aasha and Basit. And then Noor also gets to pick, but she picks the two people that have the most
No,
pet-
she didn't. She didn't get to pick. She just
They
got the
gave
most.
them-
Who
Oh,
had
the total-
the
Yes.
most of her red flags?
of her red flags. Again, confusing.
Right.
Fair.
Doesn't
So
make
she
sense.
gets Kylie and Jenna for a date because they have the most red flags. So if we can pull up the special segment music, because I think it's time
Here we go.
for Uncle
been waiting
Lem.
for this.
A minute for Uncle Lem. Yes, thank you. This one goes out to the challenge. Red flags. First of all, what a blood.
Oh my god.
Secondly,
What a blood.
why was this approved? You called two people who are the most picky to determine the most annoying part of everyone else. Come on, y'all. Some people look like they worked for the United Nations because they had so many flags. The bottom line is red flags, blue flags, green eggs and ham. All of that doesn't make sense, which is why this is part of Minute with Uncle Lem. Do better with these challenges. Thank you. That's all I have to say. Boom. All right.
Done.
Green eggs and ham.
Let's keep it
done.
moving. I will say though that the date looked fun.
Yeah.
Like
It
ATV
does.
riding. Yo, I know you were jealous because
Loved
that seemed super fun. We do see that in the midst of all that, Brandon gets some alone time with Aasha, and so he's allowed to connect. How did you, in seeing them, because both Brandon and Aasha, we didn't see a whole lot of them, period,
Oh,
throughout the
Aisha
season.
with you.
Well,
In the middle of you.
the three-way.
Five-way,
She
whatever.
was part. Well, the three-way kiss.
Yeah, I got you.
And then she was part of. Hello. She was part of. The fivesome. But as far as like. Just airtime. Like we know that they have to pick and choose what they air. So airtime wise, we didn't see a lot of Brandon. No, we saw a lot of Aasha. So it was interesting to see them, making a connection and then ultimately going into the truth booth. But since you were there, what did you see between them? Did you see a spark?
Yeah, absolutely. What's funny is everyone would be having their issues or like fighting or making out, whatever, drama, and then like if you look off to your left, you'll see Brandon and Aasha sitting over there on the couch with their wine glasses, like just laughing, sitting there, just like.
I
"No,
need them
me
to show
too."
more of that.
It was. I mean, it was just like all the time. Like it
Wow.
was. So,
I
it became.
love
It
it.
became like evident to us that like, okay, no, this is something here. Like,
Yeah.
and like so them having that conversation like
Yeah.
that I didn't even know they had that conversation. Then me as a fan watching the show, like, oh
Uh-huh.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we could tell in the house. So,
You
like
could.
they did,
Okay.
yeah, for sure. It wasn't just out of nowhere.
It
Okay.
was
But
such-
like they were just so low key, and then
Super.
like it made so much. That's why it made sense.
And I guess we didn't notice it much because it wasn't like the center of
attention.
It wasn't
Right.
the drama because it was good.
Yeah.
You know?
But it was just so nice to see them be a perfect match, you know?
Oh,
I mean,
thank
just
God,
the way
yeah.
they like calmly went about it and they just had this nice like relationship and like just seeing it all happen. I was like,
I also like how Brandon told Basit,
like,
No, I'm just a little
Please leave.
sad that,
Yeah, why?
that they were confirmed a perfect match because now they're leaving.
I
I
know.
like looking at him.
got
Oh,
it.
you like looking at
you
Brandon?
okay.
I do.
Oh,
We
this
all
is a
did.
superficial
We all
reason.
did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's why everyone
Well,
was
sad.
picking him. Like, okay, you're not gonna Brandon.
I'm really
somebody
sad that
move.
they're just gonna like leave now. We're gonna see them at the matchup ceremony.
You'll get pieces of him.
You get him at the matchup
You get him at
ceremony.
the
That's
matchup
it.
ceremony.
That's it.
But he'll probably have a shirt on, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
but
just
the
follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm gonna find him on that Tinder.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Tinder.
Oh, that's right.
the catfish.
That's
Hey,
right.
watch
The
out,
catfish.
But didn't y'all like the way he told Basit, like, I want to talk to
yes.
gave him a nice, gave Basit a nice kiss.
Yes.
And like, it was all good. And then Basit went on their way and it was all nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I loved
sweet.
it.
It's cute.
I loved it.
Yes.
Yes.
And Basit is the best kind of person to have in that situation.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
obviously they like saw that like
Oh, 100%.
yes, let me excuse myself.
Take him out.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all can watch me
Curtsy,
walk
yeah.
away.
Right.
Super
Right.
calm. I love it.
No, it was a great way that he did that Brandon did that. So we do see that he does get a chance to talk to her and then make a great connection. And then back in the house, it seemed like it was almost unanimous. Like, as far as what they were showing,
It better
everybody
be.
seemed to be picking
Yeah.
Brandon and Aasha. So then come back, right? So it's Truth Booth time.
Wait, can we talk about the girl Kiki? Okay,
The
all
girl
the girls
Kiki.
kicking it.
Oh my God, that
Talking
was
and
so
drinking their wine.
awkward.
So awkward. Like, can we
I
talk
hated
about that,
that.
please? Like, oh, you know, Jenna, I'm feeling Kai.
And she was
It was
like,
like and Jenna was just like, please.
Oh, yes.
Honey,
yes.
I sipped my drink with Jenna because I'm like, girl, how can you just keep on allowing this? Like, girl, I need you to move forward, and that's when she obviously did.
Yeah.
But that was kind of random for me, the whole Nora
And
and Kai
Kai's situation?
situation. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
At least-
I didn't see it coming.
You didn't see it. That
No.
just caught you off guard.
Yeah.
When Nora pulls Kai, because Nora was
Yeah.
actually the aggressive one in that situation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which was after the Truth Booth.
True.
But yeah, Nora pulls Kai aside. Jasmine has some words because, she had been rocking with Kai. And then Kai goes on and kisses Nora, which I knew was happening because Kai's kissing everybody this episode.
Yeah.
But my thing is, granted, the show, it's almost like it's really, and I say this every season, this show, like, it's a perfect storm because you want to follow your heart and you want to hopefully find love and your perfect match and maybe win some money. But then when you don't have a perfect match with someone that you care about, you have to leave them alone and go to somebody else, and it's done right in your face.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. It's like breaking up with like if I was to break up with my girlfriend and then I have to see her every day at my house talking to some other dude. That's going to be...
And it's right there, and you can't. It's
Exactly.
not like you can just go off into your room and play on your
Right,
phone.
right.
Like, no,
Right.
it's right there.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's
that's why I could never do a show like that.
Yeah.
There's
It's
no
tough.
Instagram.
I mean, I
block
give you
fiction,
guys
nothing.
props. I give you guys props because I could never do that. I just couldn't. That's like way too vulnerable, way too. I can't.
Before we go into the Truth Booth, I do want to ask you about Justin. So, when you first...
It's your match.
Ask away.
It's your match.
when you first connected with Justin, what was that like for you in a sense? Because it seemed like at first, from what we saw, and you can correct me, it seemed like Justin was kind of, trying to figure things out or whatever. And you kind of was in there, was like, yo, what's up? I'm right here kind of thing. And then he was like, oh, okay. And that's kind of how it connected. And then you kind of went from there. But tell me if I'm wrong, but what is your words on that?
No, that's right. I mean, so like at the start, obviously he went to the Truth Booth with Nor week 1, which everyone was like, huh? Like you look back on that now, like many years ago.
Right.
What the
Many
hell was
years
that? What the hell were we thinking? No, and then I just kind of like played it low key, and I'm like, okay, like I am starting to kind of really feel Justin. Like, how am I gonna deal with this? And then because that was a big obstacle for me was to deal with that.
Yes.
And then so I did. and it just kind of grew into this like, wow, like just something that like I think is such an example for so many people to see, people who aren't close to that kind of situation, to see that like, wow, they do help each other, they do grow with each other, and like that is how it was. It was like, I am feeling you, and I did kind of play it low key because like I was trying to be low key. I was low key for 23 years before that,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? So like that was just natural, and then it just kind of spiraled into something amazing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And, when Justin was opening up to you about, his past and everything like that, I mean, did it really kind of piece him together and why he is who he is and because, he was really jumping from so many people, just like Kai.
Did you understand him more because of that?
Oh, completely.
Thank you.
Completely. I feel like when that happened, when he said that, it like clicked in my head. And like when I told him, I'm like, look, I'm kind of insecure. That clicked in his head. Like, okay, I know why you're like this, and I know, like, so then he knew why I said no. That one night, I like bluntly told him no. Like, yeah, that made sense because I was insecure. And then like I knew why he was acting out in the way that he was because abandonment issues, and he just wasn't ready to deal with that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, totally.
Well, I mean, you guys have so many fans. Like, let me tell you, it's Jax all the way. They're in the chat room like, oh, we love them. Like, I hope Jax is a match. And Max and Justin's story is so amazing. I'm in tears. And they're like, oh, my hearts. And then, so everyone is really, really just happy right now with these episodes and seeing you guys. A lot of people are believing you guys are a match. So.
I'm believing it, and if you're not, I'm gonna cry.
They say, they actually said, quote, Jax is the greatest love story in AYTO history. Even if they aren't a match.
That's big time.
Yeah.
Wow.
AY, this is 8 seasons.
Yeah.
Greatest.
Wow.
The
GOAT. The GOAT, son.
Goat.
Yes. So
That's big.
Yeah.
We stand.
I mean, they're just
we
loving
stand,
it. Yeah, we
we
stand.
stand.
I mean, they're just
All
obsessed.
down.
Yeah.
The people stand, we stand, I stand, they all stand.
Okay. All
We all
right.
stand together.
All stand. Green eggs and ham.
Yes, again.
Yes. Let's get into this truth booth. So, calls come together. Truth booth. Brandon and Aasha. They go in. Perfect match of the season. It happens. The first one is always, I know, talking to previous cast members, it's always the greatest feeling
For sure.
when you break that ceiling,
sure.
right? What was your, just like real quick, what was your like euphoria feeling?
Oh, that was like the greatest moment we had in like 5 weeks. Like,
Right.
especially after like we were just at
Yes.
the very bottom.
Right.
I mean, and like that was just a complete like head rush. Like everyone was like going crazy, screaming, yelling. They came in, bottles of champagne are set out, and Brandon and Aasha are just up there on the table, just spraying like I can put myself in that moment, and it just brings me such joy. Yeah, absolutely. Like last night, I relived that. It was awesome.
Oh my
That's
God.
awesome. Okay.
Did you pop that champaign?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
We were popping whatever. No.
Okay.
Whatever was available.
I saw the Henny.
Before we get into the actual matchup, Sensei, I want you to talk about Jonathan and Basit and the flower presentation.
Look, that had my whole entire heart. Because Jonathan knew what he needed to do to make Basit feel amazing. And I thought it was so thoughtful that he went and picked, he gave Basit the best crown in the entire world, and Basit was looking so amazing in it, okay? And I just love their whole story, just like you and Justin. It's the same with Basit and Jonathan. They really are growing as people, and more or less Jonathan, he's really, finding himself and really learning how to love someone with not just based on looks, because don't get me wrong, Basit is,
Fire.
is fire.
Fire.
Okay?
Fire.
So I just love the whole story, and I thought it was a perfect ending, and to see them say perfect match on the screen, I'm like,
know.
I got chills.
Melody, how did you feel about that? Because that's the first time, again, they're doing first,
yeah.
that they had it, told us a perfect match.
When they did it, first thing, jaw hit the floor. I was like, oh my God, perfect match. But then I was like, oh, I'm kind of sad they told me, because now at the matchup ceremony, I know that is a beam, but still they had the other beam. So I was like, okay, we know it's Justin and Basit.
Right.
We don't know who the other one is.
Right. It's
right there.
Could be.
Could
maybe.
Could be.
I don't know. It's like freaking me out now.
Right there.
Yeah, so I think it's a great thing that they did that.
That they did that.
Yeah.
Speaking of the matchup, let's go right into it. So matchup happens. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of resistance with individuals. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Except Remy being chosen last and him like, I've never been chosen last in my life. I was like,
That part, Remy. God, come on.
Remy, come on. So we had Jenna and Amber.
I like that one.
Basit and Jonathan. Jasmine and Kylie. Danny and Kai, which I could see that coming. Paige and Carrie, Max and Justin, aka Jax, and we had Noor and Remy. I think of all these, Noor and Remy is the one that I think is the least that makes sense.
Oh, that one was hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was funny to me watching it, like especially now, like just knowing them.
Right.
Like, I was like, Nora, Remy.
I don't see that at all.
And
That's
the craziest part, I'm saying like, oh, I'm not sure about, Max and Justin, but at the same time, I am looking at these matchups now, and a lot of them are wild cards, and you guys have been on this like great ride, like Jonathan and Basit. So, I guess I'm with it.
If it just keeps steadying out,
Jacked all the way.
I was talking to Lem about this earlier. I really hope that Jonathan and Basit just sit with each other the rest of the time.
I know.
But I feel like there might be a curveball that might come in.
hell yeah.
Just because you know how the
Yes.
show is, right? But I feel like something's just gonna come in and it's gonna
Jonathan's just gonna fuck it up.
No.
That's what you wanted to say.
Jonathan think again and then make another wrong decision.
No.
I don't see Basit making that wrong decision. I don't. And I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I feel like there's gonna be a curveball. There has to be a curveball.
Well, this is my thing.
I don't believe
thinking
that.
about it even more from when we were talking, the fact that they said that they were a perfect match, right, without a truth booth confirmation, that to me meant, in my opinion, that they will sit together, and we're already going to know that
Yeah.
is always a beat. Because to me, if they end up, for whatever, not sitting together during one of the matchup
Yeah.
ceremonies, you're already thinking like, well, they're a match. So
Right.
if they get, you know
Okay,
what
I
I'm
see what
saying?
you're saying.
So that's how I feel like, and of course, for the whole sake of the love story, it's it adds to that effect.
And they're so into it. They know.
Right, but I don't think that they're gonna break up anymore. I feel like
I agree.
Jonathan had an epiphany. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
And he did what he did. Basit is all for it, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna rock until the end
But
of this
reality
season.
Team
TV,
no
though.
breakup. Team
It's
no
real-
breakup.
it's-
Team no
I
breakup.
live in the real world.
reality
and
TV.
Reality TV. We know reality TV. I'm only saying that because they said perfect match. That's what's egging me on
And
to say that they're
Tell me
going
if
to
you
stay
feel the way
together.
I feel. I feel like they put that on,
Uh-huh.
and then they're gonna throw a curveball because they want the drama.
then we're gonna be yelling at the TV like, "That's your match!"
I can't believe you did that.
Wow.
Like,
Oh
you know
no,
what I mean?
you doing?
Yes.
I mean,
What are
I
you
don't
doing?
want them to, obviously, because
Right,
I
right.
love
It'll be
them
good
together.
TV, so I'm all
But it'll
for
be good
it.
TV, exactly.
I don't know.
Look,
I mean,
we
it'll
got
be
a lot of
interesting.
people making good TV. They
Right.
can go be cute in the corner.
We'll see how it goes. But I did want to ask, and I probably know that because we've been saying it the entire episode, but who did you think the other couple was that was a perfect match?
I've been saying it the
Yeah.
whole
right
time.
there. That's what I
Right
just
there.
said. We're saying it the whole
That
time.
guy.
I'm sorry,
Right.
I'm still not convinced.
You're not convinced?
Not convinced.
Oh, wait.
Who do you think then?
Messy Melody
fair. We
is
gonna
not
fight later.
convinced.
Wait, remember
Wait.
I said this before. I said I love them as a couple. So when they leave the house, have at it. Yes. Love you guys. But did the matchmaker sit there and put you guys together? I don't think so.
So who do you think out of these people?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Me
Who do you
too.
think?
Is that other beam?
I think it's gonna be something wild. What was that really?
Who do you think is wild?
Danny and Kai.
I would say that too.
I can
because
kind of see that a little
I
bit.
feel like
See,
so with Danny and Kai, I feel like there's a balance, like there's a yin and yang,
Yes.
right? Because Danny seems so grounded, he has, he's very scientific, he's very calculated, whereas Kai is like blah, all over the
Yeah.
place, and it's like a good match up to like ground each other.
Yin
Like
and yang.
you can exactly.
Yin and yang.
Kai can bring Danny the fun out. Hey, have fun, and Danny can be like, oh, chill out a little bit.
Simmer
Right.
down.
So I feel like that's why that is a match.
I see. I'm stuck on Kai and Carrie.
Oh,
Kai and Carrie, that's not even.
power move, but
It's
like
not, but I'm just.
Oh, you're just saying in general.
That's
You're
what
just
I'm
saying-
thinking.
okay.
You're just saying Kai and Carrie.
like Danny, I don't think they'd be a
Okay.
Like a
match
switch,
because
like,
I'm
it could
here
be
for
that.
Carrie and Kai.
Carrie
I think
and Kai is a
Carrie
match?
could really tame Kai
put
where
Kai,
he needs to
put
be.
Kai,
Put him in
put Kai in his
place,
place.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what Kai needs.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
I still say Max and Justin.
Thank you.
You say,
Thank you.
you
I'm
still
gonna
going
ride
for
with
Jax?
that.
Oh, we ride with
Okay.
Jax.
I'm gonna ride with
Yeah. Forever.
I'll stand alone. It's fine.
Okay.
You know.
I'll
Okay.
tell you. I told
Opinions
you
are
so
welcome,
later.
girl. You good?
I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is.
I mean, it's really not love, but okay.
You said it's not. Who were you saying? Oh, you're saying. Wait, who do you
So
think is
the-
the second?
The beams
Is that
was
other
Jax.
beams?
Oh yeah, Justin and Max.
Oh, you say
Okay.
you say
yeah, because
Justin.
the
All
other
right.
ones are hella random. Like,
Okay.
So you do stand alone.
I do stand alone.
Well, I didn't say no. I said it was. I said what I said.
So you're saying so
You
Jax
said
is
what
not
you
Jax
said.
is not a perfect
Yeah, I
match?
said Jack's not a perfect match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got you. I got you.
Lem. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Lem.
I'm sorry. I'm just going. I know, like, right?
I hear you.
I'm just saying.
You have
It's
your
just
opinion. You have
it's,
your
it's
opinion.
all opinions. We will find out at the
Yeah.
end.
All right, Uncle Lem.
But you do need some more beams. We can all
Yes.
agree on that.
Completely agree.
Yeah. So,
But 3 is better than 0.
it is
right?
better
Am I
than
right?
0. It is better than 0. Now, going when you see this before we close out, when this happens, right? Matchup happens. You got 2 new beams. You seem like you're still, in good spirits. Are you feeling that things are going on an uptick? Like, do you feel like you have your first, perfect match? You feel like things are on an upswing, or do you feel like there's still a lot of confusion at this point?
I think there's still a lot of confusion, but at the same time, like, we finally are making progress. Like,
Right.
that has to be enough,
Right.
For something to hang our hat on.
It's good motivation.
Yeah,
to start off.
exactly. And I think that was like the turning point. Like the blackout was a turning point. Okay,
Right.
perfect match. All right, we got this. Let's like get our shit together, and we got it.
Right.
I mean,
So-
really, what we need to do next episode is see you and Justin in the truth booth.
At this point in time, are you 1,000,000% convinced that Justin is your perfect match, or are
Yes.
you? Wow.
Yeah, and I think that like you just look at all the things that a perfect match would carry, and I think that he has all of those.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Jax.
All right, let's get into predictions. Let's do that. Let's do that right now, right this second.
Okay.
Now,
What do
your
you predict?
AfterBuzz TV prediction.
All right, I'll start. So, I think that because Kai hasn't honed in on any one particular person, I feel like Kai is still going to be Kai. I feel like he's still going to be, rolling around, being a kissing bandit, what have you, until he ends up in a truth booth. I think the only way he's going to stop doing what he's doing is if he goes to a truth booth. That's my opinion.
To find the perfect match.
To find or be like, all right, maybe there's no match. And maybe, okay, I need to chill out. I need to hone out on one particular person.
Okay.
Fair.
So either way, I feel like he needs to go into a truth booth. I also feel like that Jenna is still not over Kai. And I feel like she's going to create some more dissension in the house with that. Because Kai's still going to be trying to find his match. And Jenna's still going to be a little salty. And not really go over. I feel like Jasmine is like, all right, Kai, you want to do your thing? All right, cool, peace.
A word?
I feel
Did you
like
see the next episode? Because Jasmine's coming for Nora's ass.
Yeah, the preview.
with, oh really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't
Jasmine
see that.
was not playing.
The preview
Oh, I
was
didn't see that.
that party was
Nora?
lit.
Nora and
Yeah.
Jasmine
Yeah.
Oh, they get
are
into
about
it?
to have it.
Yes.
Yeah, Jasmine said, I'm going to just let Kai know that I have options.
I'm not
okay?
the one.
But she
I'm
ain't
not
done.
the
She
one.
was not done. That
Well,
was
she
just
said
a
she had
foreshadow.
that's why I saw that.
okay?
She
Or
said she had
another
options,
talk.
but she was going
They were
in
exchanging words,
Yeah.
right?
with
Yeah.
Nora because Nora was messing with Kai.
It was just a preview.
No,
I'm just saying, like I didn't. Okay.
Well, I'm assuming that's what
Okay.
it is because
I think that was it. I think that was it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But because see, and the only reason why I said that, even without seeing the preview, is I feel like Jasmine is like, all right, cool, you want to do that? Which it sounds like you said she said. I got options.
Oh, well, she
but
was
she
not
had
done.
words for Nora.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. Okay. Well, it'll be interesting to see how that goes
to
because
be
those are two
little
like, hot, like I don't play type of people.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Max is like, yes, I was there.
This is very true.
All right, Sensei, what are your predictions?
I'm sorry, I just saw this. Valerie said someone send Justin that video of Max saying he wants Jax forever.
Oh.
So there might be some tea, but I guess we'll have to wait till after the show. Just saying. Just was trying to get you guys some tea. What is my prediction? I don't really have one,
Yeah,
guys.
I don't have one.
I mean, honestly, I need to see you and Justin in the truth booth. That's really where I'm at
You
with
just
it.
need to see that.
And I'm ready to see some girl fights. What's good?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they won't get that many beams.
You think that they're still going to be on low
The
count?
next,
Low
you're gonna still
count.
stay on the 3.
Under 5.
Yeah.
Under 5.
Well, as long as Basit and Jonathan stay together, they're gonna have
Then we
at least
good.
one
Then we
win.
good. You're right.
No more blackouts. I do predict though that there will be no more blackouts. I feel like there'll be no more blackouts.
I predict that there's going to be a Jonathan and Basit situation for the next maybe 2 episodes, and then a curveball is going to be thrown, and we might see that curveball happen. I think Jax is a perfect match, and I think that needs to stay that way.
Okay. All right.
And that's all.
I
I'm
like that.
simple. I'm simple.
I like that.
See?
Okay.
Simple.
All right. Well, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we have completed our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for everyone in the live chat. Shout out to our guest, Max in the building.
What's good? I heard Sensei was here.
I love you for that.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Y'all, my name is Lem Gonzalez, and you can find me everywhere in outer space at Lem Gonzalez. Sensei, where are you at?
That was just the most epic moment ever. Y'all know where to follow me at Sensei Don't Play.
And you guys check me out everywhere at Melody_Rose.
Hey guys, it's your boy Nino. You can catch me at Nino Nero on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Catch me weekly on Tayo News.
Yes, and Max, where can the fans find you, sir?
At Max Gentile on Instagram, Dramaxic, DRAMAXIC on Twitter. Follow me there.
All right.
There you have it.
Follow the drip. Ladies and gentlemen, next week, make sure you stay with us, tuned in. Our guest next week is, you're going to have to find out. But it's going to be great. I'm sure it's going to be great.
That's an AYTO. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, shout out Dr. Frankie. Shout out Dr.
Dr.
Frankie.
Frankie! Calling us from Europe, son. We get calls from Europe.
Right.
Dr. Frankie in Europe. Yes.
Extended minutes.
Exactly. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Deuces.
Peace. Thank
Our
you.
founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.